Are you the type of golfer who starts playing pretty decent by the time you get to about the 4th or the 5th hole? Pretty common. If so, you need to check out this video. I've got for you a real simple warm-up, 6 exercises. It's going to take about 10 minutes to really loosen your body and get you prepared for that first tee shot. Make sure you check out this video. Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today in the golf studio, and today I'm joined by James Bailey, who is a golf-specific fitness trainer. We filmed a number of videos together, so please do check out some of the other content. James is really relevant in this video because we're talking about a warm-up, so really his aspect of this is mainly going to be James running through 6 exercises that's going to help us get warmed up for that first tee shot.
And it's amazing the difference in performance from when you've warmed up the muscles to just hitting a ball straight out the gate on the first tee, to how much different a warm-up can make.
Do you know what I normally see, and I mean, you must be the same. I see people, because the putting green is by the first tee, they normally have a couple of swings, they generally hit a few putts, and then they're off on the first tee. And I tend to find most people, when I'm out there in playing lessons, they get to about the 4th, 5th hole, and they go, oh, I'm starting to loosen off now. I'm starting to feel all right. You're like, well, you kind of need to get yourself into that stage on the first tee. So this that we've planned, this video, is really just going to be 6 simple exercises. You only need one bit of kit. That's the foam roller. The rest of it is just you. You could potentially use a golf club for some of these exercises.
£5 as well.
Oh, really cheap. You'll get them from anywhere. We won't discuss the stores as no one's paying us. But really cheap to buy a foam roller. That's the only thing we need. And we were discussing this. This could be done at home when you wake up before you get to the course, or perhaps in the changing room at the golf club. So none of these, I think, look or make you look too crazy, which is perhaps what everybody's worried about, that, you know, they don't want to look like Jimenez on the first tee, given all his twisty knees and stuff. So these are just simple exercises that's going to help us play better golf off the gate. So number 1 is going to be the foam roller.
So this is probably one of my favourites. I do this whether I'm playing golf or not. I'll always foam roll just to feel evoke myself lovely back up. So for me, it's centre of the back, sort of roll through the traps and through the shoulders and then all the way down. Again, arm placement doesn't really make too much difference. For me to feel like I get the best benefit as I go arms, feel like I'm really, really extending outwards, either across the chest, down by your side. But all you want to do is try and feel like you push your back's pushing into the ground, and you're rolling all your muscles and joints out and getting them nice and warm.
And hips are off the floor. And then head, neck in a relaxed position. I think a lot of people, and me too, I think you can get too tight and stiff when doing this.
Yeah, you never want to sit up and feel like that. You want a nice straight line, looking up at the ceiling.
Good. I mean, I love this and do it a lot. It really makes me feel like I can swing a golf club and get into good posture. I tend to get a little bit rounded, so this is great for me, and I can hear my back quite often clicking into position as I'm doing that, but the foam roller is great. Exercise number 2, or warm-up number 2.
So with the warm-up, is what we want to do is we want to make sure all the main components of the golf swing are getting warm. So you don't need an alignment stick, but for me it's a nice little visual guide. So from there you want to go into sort of a kneeling squat, kneeling lunge, sorry. You're going to feel like you're pushing down with the knee staying straight over the foot, so you'll be able to see in that camera. I'm not pushing in, I'm not pushing out. It's a nice straight line towards the stick. From there, what you're going to feel is all down your left quad and into your right hip flexors. It's going to start opening up.
Yep.
What we're going to do is push into that a few times, trying to go that a little bit further on each one. Again, we want to do these both sides, so when we're doing anything in the warm-up, make sure we're doing both left and right, even if you are right side.
We may not demonstrate both, but if you can just reverse it for the other leg.
And then the next one, so that's the front of the legs and the hip flexors. Then we want to move into sort of hamstrings. So this is really easy. This is just going from that almost extended lunge, just bringing them toes up, pushing that heel into the ground, and you'll feel a nice stretch down the bottom of your hamstring. What you tend to find really common is if people have got really tight hamstrings or they're not warmed up, is that they'll be jumping out of a lot of their shots because their body and their legs aren't warmed up. So that downswing position they're struggling to maintain.
Good. So it's a little push forward, pull back, and it's the toe going up. And you can see there the leg is straight.
Yep.
Excellent. So that was that was our second one, but 2 adaptations of it, I guess. So going forwards, going backwards, both legs that we're going to be doing.
Third one, again, we want to get there. We've sort of done legs and lower body, a little bit of back. So we want to move into sort of the arm, shoulder, and a bit of rotational work. So for me, a real good exercise, into your golf posture of 6, 7 iron, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then from there, I just want you to feel that you're keeping your arms nice and straight, and you're staying over that ball and that alignment that's going up above the head. What you're doing there is you're allowing the chest, the arms and the back and everything to open up really good, because otherwise, you know, you get a little bit hunched over if things aren't open up. We want to feel that really nice opening up position.
Yep.
Then from there, we just want to do some really slow turn to the right, get as far as we can rotation, maintaining that hand behind the head, again to the left.
And letting your head twist with it.
Yeah. So we're not looking for really fast turn as far as we can, just really nice and slow controlled, getting as much rotation as we can.
So aiming for at least sort of 90 degrees rotation either way effectively.
Yeah, and if you struggle, you know, if you do struggle to get your arms, you know, above your head, go to where you feel comfortable. You don't want to injure before you start playing and warming up. Just go to where you feel comfortable.
Excellent. So that's number 4. I like that one. As you can see, that's got some real relevance once you're starting to loosen up into that rotation for the backswing, for the through swing.
This is a little bit more moving into some stability stuff. So it's a little bit more dynamic. And what it's doing is, when we're in that golf swing position, you know, we want to stay stable across our feet. We don't want to be falling away and losing balance. So for me, this is a really good key stretch to have. Again, an alignment stick doesn't have to be, it's just a nice visual guide. From there, go into your lunge. And then from there, you just want to turn as far as you can to the right, as far as you can to your left. And if you can notice, I'm trying to stay as still as I can with my lower body, like we're trying to do, in terms of we're not trying to jump out of it. We're just trying to stay nice and controlled and turn through impact.
Yep.
Again, doing that both sides, turning over the lead leg, all the way back, all the way to the left. So we're starting to add a little bit more full body.
Yeah, so it's almost stopping the hips from rotating as much, turning your upper body against your lower body a little bit. We call it in the golf swing that X factor stretch, that difference between the upper body and the lower body. So the first one was allowing everything to move, wasn't it? Hips and torso. This is more isolating.
Last one as well, so we're just going to do a little bit of slight balance, a little bit of glute work. So again, if the glutes aren't warmed up, they're one of the prime movers in that golf swing. So if we haven't got control over our glutes and there's no blood flow going through them, we're really going to struggle to maintain that position, and we'll likely get a little bit of early extension and moving away because they're not fired up.
Yep.
So really simple, place it just above knee. From there, feel like you're pushing down into the right knee, and what you'll feel is a lovely stretch into the right glute. You can use a club to stay
it's always worth having that. It's harder than it looks.
And again, you can go all the way up, nice and slow, just feel like you're pushing it, just stretch as far as you can. Again, you want to be switching legs as well, and what you'll find is all of a sudden, after a couple of minutes on each of these exercises, that you start to feel the blood moving around the body to the muscles that we mainly use in the golf swing before you start hitting some balls, and you won't all of a sudden feel, oh, I feel tight this morning, sort of thing.
Great. So all we actually need is the foam roller, the alignment stick or golf club for some of the balance exercises, and we are going to finish with some golf swings, and we're going to be doing them right-handed and left-handed, doing some overspeed training. So I do have a super speed training aid that we're going to use or utilize in the bag. Yeah, we got it. But you could just use an alignment stick for this, create some whoosh, or maybe even hold the club the wrong way round if you haven't got something handy. But this is important. Make sure we're doing some right-handed swings and then some left-handed. Yeah. So start with your dominant side and then switch over.
And again, and what I've spoke about in previous videos is that overshoot theory of, well, I know I only need to go to there and I only need to finish there.
Yeah.
But if we can overshoot that and the body's really warmed up to work at a maximal, and then when we bring it down to work at our sort of potential, that's where we see the big gain. So for me, I like to use a bit of momentum and then get some really fast swings going.
Yeah.
So instead of going from a standing start, just get everything nice and warming up. And again, you want to be doing, it's always very common when people are warming up that the right side's nice and warm because that's how we're swinging the golf club. But a left-handed swing is just as important.
Really important, yeah. So you'd switch around, I'll move out of the way, and just make me some lefties.
Trying to think.
Whether you switch your hand placement or not doesn't really matter, but you're never going to generate as much speed on your non-dominant side, but trying to still do some overspeed training, loosen off both sides. Yeah. And you know, by the time James has done one side and the other side in terms of all those exercises, whether it was the legs or things, we're talking about 10 minutes, aren't we, here? So it was 6 exercises plus some swings, around 10 minutes of warm-up time before you play. If you feel too conscious to do this at the golf club, it could be stuff before you get in the car, before you set off at home. But some of them you could definitely introduce on the first tee while you're waiting for others or around the putting green. And I think it's really going to help your game make sure that instead of the 4th, 5th hole, by the time you start feeling loose and relaxed, it's actually that first tee shot. And we start off like we're meaning to. So thank you for James's time. I will put in his handles here for his social media, and also check him out on YouTube. Pretty new YouTube channel, but lots of content going on there. We're doing quite a lot of filming together, trying to bridge that gap, perhaps between the golf swing side of it and the fitness elements, and looking at where we can work together as best as we can. If you're new to my channel, you haven't already, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and do share this video with as many golfers as you can. Cheers guys, we'll see you soon.